Welcome to another episode of the For the Love of Cricket podcast with Jim and Akim. We'll be discussing the game played earlier between Afghanistan and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka batted first, they made 241 all out in 49 overs, and Afghanistan basically walked to victory by 7 wickets in 45 overs. What's your take on today's game?
I think it was a very good performance from Afghanistan. It was a good bowling effort. They stifled Sri Lanka. They picked up wickets at regular intervals. Fazalak Faruqi was very good. He picked up 4 wickets. Struck with a new ball, getting Karuna Ratne, and then he returned towards the end of the innings and really cleaned up the Sri Lankan lower middle order to tail. And then in the batting effort, Ramat Shah, Hazmatullah and Hashmatullah, the captain, they were all brilliant in the batting effort. All three got half centuries and they really guided Afghanistan home to a comfortable chase and a well-deserved victory in the end.
I think it was a pretty good start from Sri Lanka. They were 134 for 2 in about the 25th, 26th over thereabout. And you would have thought they would have gotten the par total. I think the par total today would have been about 280.
Yeah.
But they fell 40 runs short and paid for it in the end. They got strangled by Mujib and Rashid Khan in the middle overs. And outside of the first 3-4 batters, no one else could score at over or run a ball. And they just dragged themselves to the total in the end. It was very good bowling by Afghanistan. As I said, Mujib and finally Rashid Khan showed up and this put on a good display against a top nation. Afghanistan then chased the total, got there pretty easily in the end. I thought the Sri Lankans, with their bowling effort, they bowled well. They bowled in the channel just on and about half stump. But the field placing was not very good. They gave up too many singles, I should say. More than half the runs were scored by turning the strike over, so they allowed well. Some would say the Afghans ran well between the wickets, but I thought the Sri Lankans allowed a lot of singles. They got like 40 to 50 singles down to point only.
Yes.
There was a lot of run. They just, it's as if the moment the power play ended, the point fielder went out to the rope, and there was no effort by Captain Mendes to try and plug that gap with probably putting in a gully fielder or a fielder at backward point to try and shadow that single or cut that single to create some chance. Madhushanka was pretty good with the new ball as well.
Yes, he was. He was very good. He got the ball swinging around, he created pressure, and he also got the wicket of Gurbaz very early. I think he was good, as you said, consistent. He's been very good with the new ball in the tournament. He's been one of the bowlers that has really caught my attention, bowling inside the power play.
Angela Matthews got 3 overs, didn't really do much. He went at 6 and over anyway, but it was really Shamira and Rajita who supported Madhushanka throughout the Sri Lankan bowling effort. This is a pretty big win for Afghanistan as well.
It is.
As we said before, Afghanistan winning the game against England and against Pakistan was no small feat. They have now won 3 games in this World Cup, and they only could muster to get 1 game in the 2 previous tournaments. They're in a position now where if they can get 2 more or probably another big win, they can push for a semi-final spot. And if they continue as they are now, they will be sure to play in the Champions Trophy next year.
Yeah. I think it's interesting what you said about the field placings. The 50 over format is a very interesting format because there are some phases in it that you have to play like a T20 game, and then there are other phases sometimes you have to play it almost like a test match. I think there was a phase in the innings from Afghanistan where you felt as if the five fielders that were inside of the circle, they probably needed an extra one. An extra fielder would have created pressure and forced Afghanistan to take some more risks, because when you look at the innings, you had three batters that got very set and got big half centuries and got half centuries that made it comfortable for them to score. You look at their bowling and you feel like probably with Chamira, an extra fielder could have been used inside the circle. He was bowling with a lot of pace and he looked as if he would make something happen, but if the batters can get a single and come off strike pretty easily, no pressure is created. In a game like this where Sri Lanka made 240 plus, that is scoring at less than five. Yeah, it's less than 5 and over. So you really have to create some sort of pressure, because the only way you'd have won that game is if you bowl the team out. They were never going to bat 50 overs and not get the total. So you have to look at it as almost a 40 over game, 45 over 40 over game, and you have to play it with the intent of getting 10 wickets. And having all your fielders, the maximum number of fielders outside of the circle, in the middle overs, that creates no pressure in a situation like this, and it makes the chase easy for the batters.
Can you say the presence of Jonathan Trott has brought a sense of calm to the Afghanistan batting effort?
It has.
Outside of Gerbers at the top, he's really their aggressor. The batters that follow, it's as if they're playing percentage cricket. They're saying, all right, we're going to find singles and run, and make sure that we execute when we get the bad deliveries. It's a watching them chase. It would have been. It feels as though they were playing in a manner that Trott would deploy if he was chasing a total of 240, as well as the total that they chased in the previous game.
It's funny that you said that, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Trott was a very good limit 50 overs player. He was underrated in that format, and he did pretty well because he played high percentage cricket. He was very busy, he ran very hard, and he is somebody that really used to take the middle overs for England. He used to make the middle overs his own, and he would look to bat up until the 35th, 40th over and set the platform for the other batters to come. When you look at somebody like Hashmatullah Shahidi, that's the captain of Afghanistan, he made 58 today with 3 boundaries, 2 fours and a 6. So that's 14 runs from boundaries, and the other 44 runs were singles, 1s, 2s and 3s. Very busy player, and it also gave them a calming influence and a steady force in the middle of the order, similar to how Trott would play. And his influence has really calmed them down. At the start of the tournament, it was said that they were a team that would bowl well. We thought they would bowl well in the conditions, but they would only really win games if their team could get past 250. That was the thought. And in a game like this, they comfortably chased 240, so they needed that stability, and he's been a good influence.
As in, at the start of the tournament, we thought they would have been a team that would bat first.
Yeah.
Try and set about 260, 270, 280 based on the talent they have. I don't think they could sustain scoring 6 over.
Yeah.
Over 50 overs. And then they would squeeze out the scoreboard pressure along with their bowling. But the past 2 games that they have played, and they've won back to back, they are showing us that they have some plan as it relates to bowling first.
Yeah.
So it's as if their plan is, alright, let's see if we can get a team to under 280, and then we can walk to the total.
Yeah.
It might not be ideal with respect to the net run rate that they are closing the games out so close to the 50th over. Ideally, they would have wanted to have pushed and try and get this game done by the 40th for their net run rate's sake, but it still shows some intent, some planning, and for them to follow the plan to a T without panicking is really, really commendable. And at the rate they're going, I think they'll be very disappointed to have lost to Bangladesh. Looking at that Bangladesh game now and seeing the position they're in, they're probably the same. I think that Bangladesh game might have cost them a semi-final berth.
Yeah.
Now they have Netherlands, Australia, and I think South Africa. Netherlands, Australia, and South Africa to come.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they will be backing their abilities against the Netherlands team. Especially with that fickle middle and top order.
The other thing I would like to note for them is that they're mega stars. The mega stars are Rashid Khan, Mohamed Nabi, and then you would say Mujib Rahman. They haven't had great tournaments. They haven't been very outstanding. They haven't had big performances. When you think about Mujib, I think Mujib got a 4-4 in one of the games. But outside of that, it's just been steady. I probably think he's had 2 or 3 bad games with the ball. Mohamed Nabi, he bowled a good spell in one of the games. It didn't bring a lot of wickets. He hasn't been taking a lot of wickets. He hasn't been making a lot of runs either. And then when you look at Rashid Khan, who is the biggest star for them of them all, he's almost non-existent. He's just bowling his 10 overs, going at 5 or 6 and over and picking up the odd wicket. 1 wicket here, maybe 2 wickets here. I don't think he's taking a 3-4 or a 4-4 in the tournament, but they're still finding a way to get wins. So it speaks to the strength of their unit and how they've been playing outside of just playing and the star performance carrying the team. So that's very credible for them and for the coach and the coaching staff.
An interesting player that I have is Azmatullah. He made some runs today. Today was his second one-day half century and his highest score. He also bowls some medium pace, and it's quite interesting medium pace. He has a pretty low average for the very full deliveries and bouncers. But the good deliveries go at about 50. And watching him bowl, he reminds me, he's a very aggressive medium pacer. And I'm trying to figure out who you could compare him. He's like a medium pacer that doesn't know that he's a medium pacer. He thinks he's a fast bowler. And I'm trying to figure out somebody that would fit that mold. I would think somebody like a Dan Christian kind of player.
Yeah.
You have anybody else that they could?
I can't think of anybody else really. Somebody who I thought was very aggressive but not very fast would probably be Andre Nell, but he started off a bit fast and then he lost pace towards the latter part of his career. But in terms of the aggression, he was definitely a hothead and somebody that would always be in your face.
In your face, and always he bowls a lot of bouncers. And I'm saying you only bowl at about 75, 70 miles. Why are you bowling? But he gets people out.
Yeah.
Similar to Stoyanis.
Yeah.
So he's an interesting player. His career seems to be going in the right direction, and it should be good to watch him in the near future. As with all the Afghanistani players, they are pretty young. How old is he? Like 23?
23 years old.
Yeah, see? So he's an interesting watch. You have anything else to add?
No, that's a very good performance from Afghanistan. Statement win again, and they are really proving their worth and that they deserve the place at this tournament.
Alright guys, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching guys.